Hello world,
So, hey, hello.
this is Shruti Pandey, and today I have with me Matthias. What can I say about him? If I start just praising this guy, it would take probably the entire episode. But I have really great admiration for Matthias and the great work he does. He might look like a founder with this construction company that I'm interviewing him for, but he has many axes and eggs in his basket. He has done so many different things in life. Like you talk to him about crypto, you talk to him about Web3. Like this guy just knows it all. And I don't know how he knows it all, but maybe today we'll get to know a little bit more about Matthias Williams, who is like a brother. I probably wanted, but I never had. So he's an elder brother, far, far away, many seas from India. But it's so good to have you in my life, Matthias. And I'm like, why did I wait for so long to get you on my podcast?
I'm glad to be here. Your own journey is inspiring to me. In the last year that we've known each other, your journey of entrepreneurship has been inspiring because I see in you a woman who is overcoming cultural barriers, social barriers, business barriers, and personal barriers every single day. And really, that's what living life is about. And I admire you for tackling and confronting these barriers and knocking the fuck out of them. Okay. So, yeah. So I wanted to be on your show because I'm inspired by you.
God.
Um,
No, you're
yeah.
being just too kind to me. You always have, and I'm not quite sure if I have achieved something great in my entrepreneurial journey, but it's a journey.
Yes.
Still figuring it out. But you have had a journey of your own, and I wanted to talk a lot to you about that journey, you know. I mean, just looking at Mattbeth Constructions, I think it's more than 2 decades now that you have been onto that crazy roller coaster ride, and you can correct me if I'm wrong because it's not easy. And you know, I always wanted to get all the arenas of entrepreneurs and founders on my podcast and show. And when I used to wonder, like, who can I talk to about real estate and construction? You were the only person that ever came into my head. I never thought of somebody from India or anywhere else on the planet. It was always you in my head. So I want to understand from you, why of all the, you know, how they label it into professions, why of all business and professions did you choose construction? Of all the things that you
Um,
did, why that?
Earlier we were talking about our parents and like the things our parents teach us. When I was younger, my dad fancied himself to be like a contractor. He worked like a general contractor without a license, remodeling houses, cleaning houses, remodeling houses, and doing stuff like that. So when I was a kid, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I would go to work with him. And when I was 10, I decided I wanted to be an architect. And when I was 12, I was like, I'm going to be an architect. Then when I went to college, I realized architects don't make any money. So, so instead, I decided I was going to be a general contractor and build houses because what I wanted was build houses. And I think I want to do that because that's the thing I saw when I was a kid that my dad used to do. If my dad had been an investment banker, I'd probably be an investment banker. If my dad was a doctor, I'd probably be some kind of doctor. But I think we become, a lot of times we just become the things our parents are because that's what we see and that's what we envision for the future. Not until later do we understand that this journey that we have chosen, we have to like make it our own, not just do the things our parents did. So later on, 17 years later, I have discovered how difficult business really is. I also discovered why my dad did not progress in business like he probably could have. He didn't have the mentorship. He didn't have the education. He didn't have the knowledge. Um, And in many ways, he didn't have the ambition. So now in my journey now, I have all those things and I have the opportunity. So I feel as an incumbent upon me to take advantage of it and help others also find their passions and live their lives despite whatever their history has been or is.
Absolutely, absolutely. This makes sense, and not every time can your parent really want you to become or get into the same profession as them. Because my dad is a doctor, I wanted to be a doctor, and you're right, we envision what we see. And I probably would have been a great doctor also, but he didn't want me to be one. He was like, that's such a stressful life. And now I know, if you're an honest doctor in India, you really don't earn. So I look at my dad and like, yeah, if you are honest in whichever profession, you just can't earn. So I want to understand, diving into another question that I have for you, because construction is really something which is very essential for every one of us. It doesn't matter if it's India, US, or whatever, but does a business like construction still needs marketing? Or basically every work that you get is maybe just word of mouth, doing great work, and then your customers vouch for you? How does that happen? If you're okay to share that with me.
Yeah. Well, I think like I own multiple businesses, and all businesses require marketing. In the beginning, all businesses that work well, typically you start by word of mouth. And one guy likes it, you do a really good job. Hey, this guy does a really good job. Oh, let's talk to him. This guy does a really good job. This guy does a really good job. And then after a while, the thing that plateaus you is your own business acumen to scale. Because no matter how much you can do, one person can only do so much.
Yeah.
And until you're able to train someone to do the thing that you know how to do well and deliver it the way you know how to deliver it, you'll never be able to go to the next level. So most entrepreneurs, they stick in this, I do it well, I help a bunch of people call me, I get plenty of work. What they have created for themselves is just a long-term job that they enjoy. They haven't really created a business yet that starts operating without them.
Right.
So I think that over the years, founders need to learn all the little mechanisms that they need to pull and achieve to go from this word of mouth to creating marketing so that you're making it rain for a bunch of people, that you have taught how to generate revenue and income and opportunity for themselves, just like you have. Once a founder does that, that's when it starts becoming a real business. Before that, luxury job.
You just didn't answer this question with respect to marketing, but I love the fact when you started off with saying, I have multiple businesses, and I know you do. And probably I can call you at least 3-4 times and talk to you about all those different ones. Like, you can be a fixed guest talking about different businesses. And
Right.
you actually cleared one of my own doubts. And I really feel like calling this out loud, because I'm not as great as you or many other founders, but I'm still in my journey. And when you know different things, like I know technology, I know semi-functional, techno-functional jobs, SMEs, and writing and sales or marketing, etc. So when you show out to the world that, okay, I can do a couple of these things, people usually get confused and they're like, oh, so but you were a tester. Oh, but you were a developer. So what happened to this? What happened to that? Sometimes it's very, very frustrating as an individual that, okay, I have a personality, I have some intellect, I have some skill, and I can be all of that. With one answer on marketing and not even talking about marketing, you just erased my self-doubt on the fact that you can be everything and still be a business owner. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Seriously, that answer just helped me at some internal level and gave me like a third eye opening, like, okay, yeah, just, can I say the F word? Like just
Yeah, I say it
everything.
all the time.
I know you do, but like be very cautious. It's a podcast, but I'm like, let them all go to hell. I know all these bunch of things, and yeah, if you don't know a bunch of things, how can you operate a business?
That's right. As a founder, you become a jack of all trades and a master of a number of them.
Yeah,
You'll have to understand accounting. You'll have to understand marketing. You have to understand operations.
yeah,
You'll have to understand human resources.
right.
So when I first started, the thing I knew how to do was paint. I could paint.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I started painting. And then I learned to read plans. And then after I learned everything in construction and I started running my business, I realized I needed to learn how to do business. So in the very first few years, I paid the iron price for a lot of mistakes. Mistakes that if I had gone and paid 50,000 to Rutgers or $100,000 to another company, it would have been even cheaper to a university. It would have been cheaper than me doing them in my own company. But that's the school of hard knocks, and you learn as you go, and you learn to do multiple things. And with each thing that you learn to do better, you create more opportunity for yourselves, and you're able to teach others exactly how to do it so that you can then go to the next level of scaling, go from 100, from 0 to 250,000 to 1 million to 3 million. You hit that $3 million mark to hit that $5 to $8 million mark or higher.
Yeah, I hope all those who are listening to us now realize the introduction that I said was how much apt for this person, because he's just something else. And moving on to some more questions that I have for you, because typically I keep three questions, but with you I just took liberty, in creating like a list of it, and wanting the world to see your wisdom and see your journey really. So my third question for you is around all the metaverse concept that we see these days, right? Everything is metaverse, everything is in the web, in the internet. So with people wanting to build their life in metaverse, what do you think will happen to the real life construction scenarios?
I think they're just going to be enhanced.
Right?
I think I do. This is why. The metaverse is limitless in terms of time, space, opportunity for what can be built, imagined, and experienced, right? What that means is it's a place for human beings to get away from the reality that is and allow themselves to go into a place of unlimited expansion.
Sure.
However, it does not mean that we are going to forsake our real lives.
Of course not.
Because in real life, the construction, our places, things we go will now have to be even better because we have an alternative that we can easily escape to. So the places we come to when we're living in real life, one, some people require more luxury, more opportunity, more enjoyment. And I think those things will change how physical spaces are made. And the opportunity to build and construct in the metaverse, like any way we want,
Right.
will allow us to experiment on things before we produce them in real life. So I see people experiencing their new houses, the views, the amazing elements that they want, and then creating it in real life.
Nice. So it's like giving them a plan in 3D instead, this time with all the look and
Yeah.
feel, and then you conceptualize and get it done. It's even
Yeah.
better, actually.
Yeah. Pretty soon we'll put that thing on and you'll walk through your new house and you'll go, oh no, I don't like that. Oh no, I don't like that. Oh yeah, let's change this over here. And then you'll have a video of that you'll send to someone and they'll just build it. Maybe even a robot will build it. Who knows?
Who knows? And you just gave a recipe for another business. I'm not sure if there is already one
Yeah, I
in
know, right?
US, but we just having this conversation, you just gave a recipe for another business which can be so mind-boggling, right? We need to save this
Mhm.
from the world before somebody else patents it.
Yeah, somebody's out there doing it. When I was in Dubai, um, I went inside this room
Yeah,
that was like a dome, and
yeah,
in this dome was it's like a VR, but
yeah.
without glasses. You can go inside, and it moved around. And what they do, they use it for high-end apartment complexes that they're building, so they can sell them to investors worldwide. They create the room, you go inside the room, and you can look around and see what it's really like.
Wow.
That is just minutes away from designing and then bringing it into real life creation.
Right. Even better than having a glass on
Yeah,
and then feeling all dizzy. And it's
exactly.
just so amazing way of selling things, right? I mean, when you're selling a house, you're actually selling a dream to somebody. That's a dream house for someone. This
Exactly.
actually makes a lot of sense. I have some bonus questions for you, and this question may sound a little weird, but okay, it's me talking with you. So I'm not going to question anything at all about my weirdness, but I think it was during the pandemic when I stumbled onto a weird documentary where this woman would basically sometimes go as a rich person and just visit homes. And she realized the amount of houses in US which are just lying dormant. So while there is a whole strata of people who can't afford decent housing, there was this amazing level of, great views, tall apartments and floor rising and all of those crazy stuff. And there was an entire TED talk or documentary on that. And I know that's pretty much the case in India in some way or the other. But without getting into the rich and poor concept or India or US concept, what do you think about that? I mean, people who can afford and buy multiple houses and properties, but it's just lying dormant. And there is another
Well,
group which is not even able to afford decent housing. I know it's a very weird, at the same time a very hard hitting question. I'm not sure how you would handle that, but
well, I think of it as like this is the world and the system of the world that we live in.
right.
Even a long time ago, Jesus on the Mount of Olives said, when one of his apostles was saying something, he said, the poor we will always have with us, right? That's what he said. The poor we will always have with us. And even though that is the case, the way the human being experience is that we're living right now, it's like a curve. Like a curve of experience. On this end, some people, terrible experiences. On this end, awesome experiences. What I think is it is incumbent upon human beings in general to help everyone achieve as much of the human experience in life as possible. For some, that means being able to overcome poverty, overcome destitution, or just, it's not even poverty, it's just a mindset. Overcome a mindset, to break through mindsets that have been created for us that are really barriers. And as entrepreneurs and founders, I believe it is my responsibility to help change people's mindsets. And that, I believe, will have the biggest impact on the vector of their lives. It's not all the things going on around them. It's not the shit they're seeing. It's how they're reacting to it and how they're experiencing it and how they can change their mindset to be able to do the things they desire, they dream about, and become who they really can become. So when it comes down to, yeah, there's going to be poor people, there's going to be rich people. These rich people, they're living their lives. And some people decided, I just want a house with nobody in it so I can go see it whenever I want, right? That's a dream that they created for themselves. And they created a mindset that allowed them to achieve that dream.
Mm.
I want everyone to create a mindset to achieve the dream they have. Because maybe if we have enough people with enough of the right mindsets,
Right.
we can help even more. And we'll have less of these whole social problems that we have if we attack everyone's mindset. That's what I think.
I never could have imagined that answer coming, because you literally started from Jesus to mindset. Like that's classic. I don't know how this happens. So it's just because when we talk, something of this sort just comes. I don't know what it is, but seriously, this is crazy. And my final question for you is, because uh, there is a similarity between you and I. There has to be some similarity. Otherwise, why would people connect? And that uncanny similarity is of, finding something good or positive in the worst of situations. And you actually had that theme throughout the answers that you were giving, because that is how you are as an individual. So my final question to you is, recession is here and it's coming. Okay, it's your side of the world, my side of the world, doesn't matter. Recession is global, right? That's one of the global phenomenon. So I want to understand its effects on your business or your field. Like, do you see any of those impacts already? Because already this year wasn't too great for most of the businesses or areas or fields or sectors. So what do you think, or what do you see, or what are you really experiencing of recession on your business or its impact?
I think the recession is good for business.
In my head, I was just saying, please don't say it's a good opportunity. You just- In my head, I literally saying that. Don't say it's a good opportunity. Don't.
You know how sometimes you have controlled burns, right? When in the forestry service, to make an area grow better. When I was a kid, right, we used to live on this. I used to live on a farm with my mom and dad, my parents, and to make the back acreage grow better and more lush, we would set it on fire. Yeah. We'd light the fire and it would burn it all out. But what that burn did was that burn fertilized the ground, and it allowed for new grass to grow even greener and stronger. In the forestry, all over the forestry units all over the world, they use controlled burns, right? Right. What a recession does, it burns off the bullshit. Because if you're a business owner, if you're not honest, if you're not straightforward, if you don't have your operations in order, if you don't have your marketing on point, if you don't have your systems in place, and you've been going on fly by night, whoever calls me, I'm going to go out there and do it, and not do a great job, not get your review right, and you don't get everything in order, those people will not survive. But those that do, and those that are good at it, and those that have systematized, and those that have prepared, and those that have good financials, and those that take care of their customers properly, right, those people, they're going to be the ones that flourish, because they're the ones people will call, because they will be remembered. And all those others, they'll be out there struggling. Oh, I can't get this job. I can't get this job. And they will fall and they will fail. And what they will do is they'll go get a job at a company that has systems, that has organization, and they will learn it, and they'll have an opportunity to learn it. So what a recession does, it just recycles talent. And the cream always rises to the top, no matter what the situation. So when there's a recession, those that are good, they rise to the top. Those that are bad, they languish and fall off. And that's ultimately good for the economy.
And this is a very hard truth, and most people, I'm not sure how everybody's going to take this in, but so does this all boil down to, ethics and values really? Because maybe it all looks a very, very hard work when you're trying to do the right thing for your people, your customer, your business. But is it really one of those classic lessons of, if you're doing the right thing, if you have proper ethics and values, it really helps you in the long run? Whereas all those flashy, markety birds, they just fly away. Is it really one of those things?
Yeah, I think many years ago, you could screw over a lot of people and you could continue moving forward.
Right.
Nowadays, with your digital footprint online, you can't get away from your bullshit.
Wow.
Nowadays, we cannot outrun our reputations. And our
Absolutely.
reputation is all we have. When we tell someone something, the fact that they can believe us is power. That power, you never want to relinquish it by fucking it up, by fucking someone over.
Absolutely.
Because every time you do something right, every time someone recognizes it, your power grows. And the power of your voice grows, and the power of your influence grows. So when you follow your values, when you follow your ethics, you're following your power to influence is growing. And once you have that, there's nothing you can't do.
I don't know how to wrap this conversation up, but I would like put the ball in your court literally. Do you have any parting thoughts from this conversation that we had? And it was so amazing, like always, to talk to you and listen to you and share your journey, because every time you start to talk about the different things, I literally get carried away in, okay, in that moment, in that story, and I live that part. And probably I also remember a little bit of mine. It's crazy, but yeah, I do. And do you have any parting thoughts before we wrap up this conversation today?
Yes. Tell me what your 3 to 5 year BHAG goal is. By BHAG, I mean big, hairy, audacious goal.
Okay, this is totally unprepared and uncalled for. Not that the
I know
entire
that's
conversation was not.
that's the best.
So I mean, I'm not that kind of a person who, puts a checklist and it's like, okay, I need to do this in 5 years and this and that. And I'm not that kind of a person also who's in the moment, but I try as much to be in the moment. Uh, the couple of things that are on my head, and it may sound weird, but it's all mixed up. It's all personal, professional, both. And I don't think of them as separate thing. It's one life. So personal, professional, everything is the attribute of your one life. Uh, you want three, right?
No,
Because
one.
you just want one?
One of your BHAG goals that you have for the next 3 to 5 years.
Oh gosh, just one? Like suddenly I
Just
have so
one.
many of them in my head. I'm like,
Okay. Give me
how?
as many as you want, but I just want one that's going to happen between 3 and 5 years from now.
I think I want total independence and control of my life, over my life, on all the aspects from personal and professional, and I'm working on it. Your thing, and let not all that limelight be on me. I can't just handle all of this, and open my plans publicly. Sometimes you need to work in silence, and like they say, I'm not a very silent person. I'm very vocal. Even if I suffer, it would not be a suffer in silence type. So not that
You're
category
fearless,
at all.
Shruti. You're fearless. You're secretly fearless. That's what you're secretly fearless. I know you're secretly fearless. I've seen your post. I've seen how you're willing to put yourself out there and test waters. So I know you are secretly fearless.
Thank you so much. And if we can wrap this off here and
Yes.
discuss our 3 and 5 plans later, maybe 3 and 5 year
Yes.
plan. But this was such an amazing podcast, and giving life lessons. And like I always say, listening to you is like listening to a father in a church. I don't know why. Not that I've heard so many of them, but it's like, yeah, being in a Sunday mass. Maybe it feels like that. It's so amazing. So keep doing what you do. Keep being the amazing dad you are, the amazing brother that you are, and the amazing human being actually that you are. Because I think all of that aspect is what makes you a good businessman, owning so many businesses, right?
Thank you very much, Shruti. I enjoyed being here. Of course, I always love talking to you, and I look forward to our next conversations.
Absolutely. Take care.
Bye-bye.